Oh, good. So you found me over here. I'm so glad. All right. So we left off with a tear heart was starting to form, and so yeah, we're gonna pick up right there. And don't be scared, even though the tear heart's coming. Okay? I think you're really gonna like this. All right. Here we go. Okay. Now we're going into they're watching what's gonna happen. Okay, and so these are different voices talking. You are going to return the money, aren't you, Jackson? Asked his friend Aaron as the two were leaving the toy store. Are you kidding? Why would I want to do that? Jackson asked, shoving the money into his pocket. Jackson, it's not yours to keep. The cashier gave you an extra $5 by mistake, Aaron explained. Ha! That store overcharges on all of their merchandise. They wouldn't even miss a lousy $5. Aaron disapproved, and he told Jackson what he thought. Did you stop and think about the cashier who made the error? What's going to happen to her when her manager finds out? What if she loses her job? Oh, Aaron, who cares anyway? Being a cashier is a dumb job. She can always get another dumb job. It's her own fault anyway. Winky Wonder watched and listened, unable to speak to Jackson's heart since they were viewing the past. Remember the time suspended stuff? Okay. So Aaron could not convince Jackson to do the right thing, and then the Whisper Children saw a ripple of discontent form right before their very eyes. At first the scene they were watching began to appear unstable. There was an unseen movement in the air. Objects seemed to almost disappear and then reappear, ever so slightly misshapen and off balance. And then everything looked the same again, but felt horribly different to Winky and Wonder. Inside the toy store, the cashier, Kira, approached her manager, Cindy. Cindy, I'm terribly sorry. Somehow I must have given a customer $5 too much change. What? How could you do such a stupid thing? Demanded Cindy. I'm really sorry, Cindy. It was a mistake. I'll never do it again. Well, that's right. You never will do it again because you're no longer working here as of right now. But it was a mistake. Please give me another chance. I can't lose my job. I have to pay my rent. Well, you should have thought of that before you were so careless. Can't you just take the $5 out of my pay? Cindy's eyes narrowed, and she said with a cruel smile, We don't need incompetent cashiers here at Talbert's toy store. Now please leave. As the poisonous words were being spat from Cindy's mouth, the Whisper Children could see the dark shadow of a tear heart standing within Cindy. The tear heart was screeching its terrible cries as Cindy spoke, and the cries broke Kira's heart into sharp, jagged shards of pain. Distraught, Kira ran from the store, jumped into her car, and squealed out of the parking lot. Another car almost hit her, and the broken shards of Kira's heart flew out of her mouth. Get out of my way, you... And, well, she said swear words, but I can't say those. And those words, they pierced the heart of Mr. Larson, the driver of the other vehicle. Mr. Larson had already been having a bad day. He had received news that a good friend of his was very ill, so he was quite vulnerable to the shards that had just pierced his heart. Still shook up when he entered his home, Mr. Larson was not prepared to be supportive to anyone else. His son, Peter, approached him immediately before he even had a chance to sit down. Dad, I've got to talk to you right away, he said urgently. Not now, Peter. I need to... Dad, it's really important, interrupted Peter. There's these guys at school. Not now, Peter, yelled Mr. Larson, and the shard shot directly into Peter's heart, shattering it to bits. The boy dashed out of the house and almost knocked over his older brother, Matt. Oh, Winky and Wonder could hardly breathe. Seeing the tear heart in action and the tremendous suffering caused by the humans succeeding, I can't even read this, it's so sad. To its evil. It wasn't succeeding, it was succumbing. I can't even read. This is so upsetting. So they succumbed to its evil rather than listening to their hearts. It was almost too much to bear.
Can't they see what they're doing? Cried Winky. Why don't they stop? Why do they keep hurting each other? Grandmother and Grandfather Whisper held Winky and Wonder tightly as they sobbed. They need to slow down and think before they act, Grandmother Whisper gently explained. Jackson was being dishonest and blamed the cashier for her impending troubles. He wasn't allowing his heart to speak. His heart wanted to tell him to be honest and also to think about the situation from the cashier's point of view. The manager, Cindy, she enjoyed having power over another person. She could have used her power in a positive way and encouraged Kira to become a more efficient cashier, but instead she chose to be cruel. Kira lashed out at Mr. Larson because it was easier to react angrily when she was in so much pain. If Kira had just taken a quick, deep breath and waved apologetically at Mr. Larson after cutting him off, the power of the ripple would have been broken. Instead, Kira gave this evil more strength by spreading the shards. Mr. Larson did the same thing when he yelled at his son, Peter, didn't he? Asked Wonder. Yes, said Grandfather Whisper. He also had an opportunity to halt the ripple, but unfortunately he continued spreading this evil contamination. What will happen to his son, Peter? Asked Winky in a hushed voice. This is where you and Wonder will be able to help. The time has come when you must enter Pine Ridge in present day. Oh, Grandfather, how can we ever fight the Tearhearts? They are so terrible, cried Wonder. Both your grandmother and I will be nearby if you need guidance. Just do what you normally would have done, when whispering to humans' hearts before you knew about the existence of the Tearhearts. Okay, so now you must go quickly. Okay, that's the end of chapter 3. I hope I did okay. That was my first time reading it. A whole chapter all by myself. And I got pretty upset in there, didn't I? But don't worry, it's gonna be okay. And you'll get to hear chapter 4 soon, and you'll see what happens. So I hope you liked it. I hope I did a good job. Bye!